We all know building a website takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, starting from the planning phase to the designing, to adding content, making it plain language, and 508. So the last step would be optimizing your website, because without that, you could have this wonderful website, but without the right audience. Well, it's like building a house without a pathway. So let's talk about why SEO and semantic optimization is very crucial. It's important because it brings online visibility, it establishes credibility with your users, and it also enhances the user's experience. So I want to introduce you to a tool that looks under the hood of your HTML code, which is making sure that everything's optimized or your keywords draw in the right target organic audience. It's called TextFocus. So let's get started, and I will show you all the features of TextFocus and see if it's right for you. So now we're on the main page of TextFocus. TextFocus, as mentioned, is a tool for SEO analysis and semantics. It analyzes the SEO and the semantic performance of a page in relationship to a keyword. So you can find out your keywords on the page that's optimized for and what semantically related phases that you could use to make the content more relevant. And up here, you will see your tools and drop down. There's so many features: page SEO analysis, optimize copywriting, semantic analysis, keyword audit, research volume, search for questions, suggested keywords, alphabetical generator. And here's your credit depending on which plan you have. You have FAQ if you ever get lost. And it's very simple. All you do is drop in your address that you would like to analyze, and then add in a target expression of the page, like a keyword, and it gives you an example. Okay, so now we are going to use the tool down here to analyze the page, and we are going to analyze giant pandas for world wildlife. And I'm going to copy here the URL, and I'm going to use the word giant pandas and click on go. So now it's generated your keywords here, and it says you in the green, which is the keyword is close to giant panda. And as you can see, it's big fonts, and it has a very nice display of the currents of the key terms in that site. So here's the SEO analysis of the page. As you can see, your score right here is 56.5, and it's like a report card. So the green means you're doing well, and the red is something's missing or you need to improve something. So let's focus on improving the page. And you see here, the meta title is 27 characters, and it's generally recommended as 30 characters, including the space. And it says the keyword giant panda should be in the title. So this is very important, especially if you are named the title, to always include the keyword into your title, which will help with the search. And this also applies for social media, whether you're looking for a URL for your website. For example, if I am a photographer and I take panda photos, I would make sure that my handle name says some say pics or some say photos. I wouldn't just say some say, because some say doesn't mean much to anyone, to the general public. And if people are searching for a photographer, they will probably search on the word photo, so I will come up. Same goes with you're doing a website on panda photography, then I would say some say panda photography. It's very important to incorporate those keywords into wherever you can, like the titles. So meta description is what shows up in the search engine, when people search. So it describes your page. It's between 100 to 170 characters. So that's in the red here. Does not respect the hierarchy. Starts with H3. Yeah, never start with the H3. Make sure you start the title with H1, and of course a meaningful title with the keywords, and then the subheading will be H2, and H3 will be afterwards. So let's look at the page title hierarchy, where I mentioned H1 should be the title, then you go H2 and H3 should be in that order. So here you will see your keywords bolded, so you could scan real quickly. Semantic analysis for giant pandas. So these are their suggestions. The green bullet is good, and then the red bullet is for anything that's overused or absent. So you want to focus on the red one. And the tables will allow you to improve your semantic coverage of your page. and then check suitability for the keywords. And then this ideal occurrence calculation is based on the number of relevant words on your page. So the score right now is at 50. And as you can see here, the expression China, and then it says the occurrence is currently at 7, which is good because you want to be between 1 and 17. And the frequency in the title is 7.5. And then the interest here, 100. And this one is yellow, so it says 1 to 7. And then I think we have 8, so we might want to reduce that. So this is very helpful to look at. And then this one has 0, and it's very important because we want to talk about giant panda conservation, because that's the point, is to increase awareness, and this is 0, so it's not good. So make sure to include that. And then giant panda bear. So there's different variations of keywords. For example, if I was going to add keywords, I would make sure I use giant pandas, or plural or singular. Sometimes people call it pandas. So do different variations, and that would help too. And here it has the lexical field of the page. So you can see panda, zoo, monkey. Here's the weight. It's the total weight of the words in the field from the referencing point of view. Down here would be the relevant main keywords and present in the tag. So the table shows the keywords and groups of 2 to 4 words that are most often used in the text analyzed. And then it says click on the icon to the right of each word to get the list of synonyms. And then here you have panda, and then click here, and then you have synonyms. So this is really not meaning like other animals that are probably needs conservation. So it lists these animals. So it's not like another word for giant panda. And then it has here H2, it's missing, and then alt, and then strong. So you can look through this chart and see how you can improve. Here it says URL and the title, and then threats, wild. Okay, going down here, wildlife. Okay, so it's saying that it's not in the title, not in the description. Next one is the analysis of the entities found on the page. So here you have the list, and then of course you could export this out as Excel and PDF to share. And then the most used word in the beginning of the sentence. Now this is very important. You always want to use your keywords when you're beginning the paragraph, the first paragraph. And so this tells you what you've used. Like you had 17 WWF, which is the name of the site, and then 15 of the panda. To me, the panda is most important. So I would try to increase that. And look, there's a variation of panda. Like I mentioned that sometimes people might search in plural or panda without the S. So that's 15. This is your social tag, and it shows you how you're presented on social media, what image you're using, and what URL, the width and the height, make sure it's not too large. So this is an analysis of your hyperlink, your outgoing links from the analyzed page. This is more for 508 where it allows you to skip the navigation. So this is just a tag that's in there. And next would be the analysis of your images and alt text. So alt text is very important for accessibility. By default, if you put an image, the screen reader is an assistive technology that people who use it will read it to them to help them get familiar with your content. It will say images, and that does not provide a fair equivalent as someone who's visual. So you want to describe any image that displays content and be very accurate with it and giving the users the same experience. And another thing you want to avoid is using alt text for images that don't convey content, like something that's decorative. That might be annoying for the screen reader to read out. Like I could describe someone sitting on the grass with the blue sky. It's just gibberish. It doesn't relate to the panda unless I have a photo of a panda ambassador or someone very important to it, and then I could describe that. So be mindful when you use alt text, use it definitely use it when your image conveys content and make sure the users have a fair experience. So down here, you would see that some of these have no information. So look over it and determine if this is something that conveys content. Another advantage of using alt text is not just for screen readers, is if your site goes down or the image are not appearing, the alt text will come and display and won't interrupt the flow of the users reading the text. So it's very beneficial for this. I'm glad to see this in here. So next one is the language encoding, and then English if you're using English. And then here's another important element to look at is performance on mobile phone. A lot of us are using our mobiles, and make sure you're not using really large image that's stretching across. Make sure it's designed for mobile. Here it says time to sensitive. It says the amount it takes for the page to be fully interactive. So it has a red X, so we have to improve on that. And then here's the analysis of the competitor position in the same expression using the term giant panda. So you can get a whole view of this chart on relevant word score per position in Google. Down here, you could export this in Excel, and it says here no description and no H1 tag. So it gives you the competitor site like the National Zoo, Wildlife, that's us, and then you could compare. And then here would be the plain text version, so you get to see how you're using your H1, H2, and then here you have H1 as giant panda, and make sure that it's in good order. So now we have all the scores, as you can see, 50 for that, and then keep scrolling, 12 for the mobile, and then you can keep improving by going through your report card. Let's check out the other features. Go to the drop down. Now that we looked at the page SEO analysis, let's look at the optimized copywriting. So it gets help with your SEO writing. So I'm going to put in the target keyword again, giant panda. And then I'm going to maybe say 500. And I'm going to start writing. And here's the page title. It encourages you to be 30 to 70 words. So I am going to say giant panda all about giant pandas. And then this is currently 22 and conservation. Protecting, I'm going to put an action. Okay, so it's happy with me. It says 39, and I'm going to do a page description. Okay, so I am going to take this text here. Some can pop in the text from WWF. I'm going to cheat, so I don't have to type it out. On top here, you would say recommended number of words, and then number of words target number is 146 out of 500. And then here would be the score would be 45%. So I think I might change this to 1,000. And then my score right now is at 23. I am going to start writing here and calculate it again. And I could keep improving this, so I could look over this side, and it says here's are some semantic suggestions calculated based on my competitor, the one that are doing well with the similar topics. So this table will help me with my score and check the relevance of the target keywords. So they use maximum occurrence bamboo 2 out of 29. So the ideal occurrence would be 3. So I'm going to say pandas eat bamboo, just to add it in, just to see. And here I am in the green, and then especially endangered species should be in here. These are no longer an N, endangered species. Okay, see, now it's going to 1 here, and I need 2 more. Giant panda bears. See, I'm using some of the keywords in here just to improve this. They're not, I'm going to put the title, there are not enough wild pandas, or increasing wild pandas. Increasing wild pandas. And I'm going to make this my H2. The headers are very important, so I'm going to say, just going to copy this text. And then conservation. So now it's green. So you could get the idea. You keep adding in the keywords and keep using good headers too that uses the keyword, and your score will go up. And let's check out the semantic analysis. So we're going to use English United States, and I'm going to use giant pandas again. 93 keywords found, main clusters detected. And then here you could sort by clicking the arrow if you want high interest, low interest right there, to count national species. So you have more ideas of what is being used. Then we're going to do a keyword audit. 2 more characters, giant pandas again. 100 keyword found from one expression entered. Right here, propose architecture here. So it gives you example of your URL. Remember, I mentioned to add in your keywords. So here you have your theme here as well. Single words that are used. And then you could see the associated main words, and then the occurrence, and then the total monthly volume. So this helps you make an informed decision. And here you're back to the keywords here. And then you could increase or go right here. So why are giant pandas going extinct? So that might be something you want to use for your title. Okay. So let's go to research volume. And then I'm going to do again, giant pandas. Then my name is Giant Panda. I'm going to find the volume. So it has Giant Panda. So here we go. And then let's go search for questions. So see what questions people are asking. So giant pandas, and then search for questions. So you have, are giant pandas dangerous? What group of giant pandas are called? So these are some questions, like if you want to do an FAQ, these are some good ideas. And then you have the next page here, do giant pandas row, so it's not as relevant. So I would stick with the top ones. And of course you could sort the columns. And then suggest the keywords to find a better keyword, giant panda. And then you have 7 keywords that they suggest. So they have giant pandas, giant panda without an S, different variation panda species, giant panda facts. And then this is the official term for a giant panda. You want to include that. So these will be good to put in your keywords to put different variation, because not everyone will search on the same keywords. So this way you target everybody. And down here is the title tags of competitors positioned in the keyword giant pandas. So you search giant pandas, these are your competitors' title. Alphabet generators. Once again, then you have right here, giant pandas at the National Zoo, giant pandas are endangered, and then single words here. You want to look at that, and then name entities. Okay, so you have almost everything you need in this tool to lift under the hood and then help you succeed. So currently on AppSumo, which has lifetime deals where you only pay once and avoid all those monthly fees, you have TextFocus on here, and TextFocus has For one code, the plan is $89, and then you get all these included here. Down here, you'll see that you have all the features above included. You get links, analysis, unlimited results, keyword audit, and search for questions, competitor analysis, and semantic suggestions. And you get 750 credit. And over here, you get basically the same thing. So the higher the plan, the more credit you have, and you can go all the way up to, let's see, code 6 or 10 even. So I would highly suggest starting off with plan 1 and then giving it a try. I think that it is a steal of a deal because you, like I said, if you design a website, it takes a lot of work, but you want to make sure that you're reaching the right target audience. And this tool is like having a mechanic. Like if you go to a car, buy a car, you want to look under the hood. You don't want to just look at it visually. You want to make sure that everything's right. So TextFocus focus on all the codings underneath and help analyze it and help optimize all your contents, gives you a report card, and then tells you exactly where to fix. It even gives you the benchmark of where you should be. I think that it is priceless. I definitely, if I have a website, I would need this tool to help me optimize and reach my audience. I want to know if you plan to purchase this, what your thoughts are. So please leave me a comment. Thank you, as always, for watching. And please don't forget to subscribe to help my channel grow. And I'll see you next time. Have a great day.